Welcome to Netrush Report, your home for the most dramatic, emotional, and high-stakes stories in tennis. If you live for shocking rivalries, bold predictions, and the raw emotions behind the sport's greatest players, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a single serve, smash, or scandal. The US Open is never short on drama, but this match carried an extra layer of intrigue before the first ball was struck. Novak Djokovic, already a 24-time Grand Slam champion, was chasing immortality, a record 25th slam, to put him further out of reach of Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer. But across the net stood Cameron Norrie, Britain's stoic left-hander, known for his endurance and workmanlike discipline. For Norrie, this wasn't just another match. It was a chance to shock the world and stop history in its tracks. For Djokovic, it was survival, another hurdle in a grueling quest for tennis eternity. Djokovic started the match like a man on a mission. His serve was clicking. His ground strokes were laser precise. In the opening set, he dropped just 2 points on serve and unleashed 17 winners, leaving Norrie scrambling. But then came the moment that shifted the energy. After the 9th game, Djokovic took an off-court medical timeout. The Arthur Ashe crowd grew restless. Whispers turned into murmurs. Was this another Novak delay tactic, or was he genuinely in pain? And then, things escalated. Late in the first set, Djokovic lunged awkwardly at the net. The grimace on his face told the story instantly. His lower back was clearly troubling him. At 5-4, just before serving for the set, Novak disappeared into the locker room for urgent treatment from ADP physio Clay Snipeman. Fans booed. Commentators speculated. And Cameron Norrie? He waited as the match wore on. Djokovic's struggles meant he sometimes took extra time before returns, stretching, flexing, or pausing. On several occasions, this happened during Norrie's service games. That's when Norrie approached the chair umpire. His tone wasn't angry, but it was pointed. Later, in his press conference, he clarified, "No, I don't think it was a tactic, but I would have liked to see the umpire be a bit more assertive. Just 3 or 4 times I had to wait for him on my serve. I think he was kind of stretching, but it was nothing to do with Novak. I was just asking the umpire, what's the rule when I have to wait for him?" In other words, this wasn't about accusing Djokovic of gamesmanship. It was about maintaining the rhythm of play. Norrie emphasized, "It was not a big deal, but I was just asking the question. You play to the service speed, but the umpire didn't tell him once anything. Maybe he did, but I didn't hear it. But yeah, it was not a factor in the match at all." Still, the optics mattered. Fans on social media quickly spun the story, Norrie versus Novak. Gamesmanship versus fair play. Djokovic, for his part, didn't hide from the issue. At the net after the match, he spoke directly to Norrie. Later, he explained, "I finished that game and I just felt like I needed treatment. I told Cameron at the net, I don't know if he thinks that I was doing that on purpose to bother him or not, because it absolutely was not my intention." Djokovic insisted that the breaks were medical necessities, not tactics. He admitted the treatment and medication helped him push through, but also confessed uncertainty about his long-term fitness in the tournament. "When the meds kicked in, I felt better. Tomorrow when it gets cold, we'll see what the reality is." This was a champion in survival mode, gritting through pain, leaning on his experience, and hoping his body wouldn't betray him again. Despite everything, medical timeouts, momentum shifts, awkward exchanges, Djokovic did what Djokovic does. He found a way. Djokovic, 51 winners, including 18 aces, a US Open career best for him. Norrie, 44 winners, with 27 coming off his forehand. Final score, Djokovic won 6-4, 6-7, 4, 6-2, 6-3. Once the physical hurdle subsided, the numbers showed why Djokovic is the sport's ultimate problem solver. He absorbed Norrie's pressure, raised his level, and reminded the world why he's on the brink of 25 Grand Slam titles. But here's where things get complicated. Djokovic has a history. Medical timeouts at convenient moments, delays that frustrate opponents, and his polarizing relationship with crowds mean that even when his struggles are genuine, doubt follows him. For some fans, this was classic Novak gamesmanship. For others, it was simply a wounded warrior fighting through adversity. And Cameron Norrie? He handled it with grace. By clarifying that his frustration was directed at the umpire and not Djokovic, he diffused a potential controversy. But the whispers? They'll linger. This wasn't just a third-round win. It was survival in the chase for Grand Slam number 25. Every match carries history on its shoulders. Djokovic knows that every delay, every timeout, every grimace will be scrutinized, not just for its impact on the match, but for its place in the story of his career. And while Djokovic moved past Norrie, the questions remain. Will his body hold up across 2 more weeks? Can he handle the New York heat, the pressure, and the skeptics? Or will this be the slam where history proves just a step too far? Commentators split down the middle. Some argued Norrie had every right to be annoyed. Others defended Djokovic's need for treatment. Fans online erupted. Hashtags like hashtag Novak delays and hashtag Norrie respect trended for hours. Pam Shriver even weighed in, noting the need for clarity in umpire enforcement of rules on return readiness. Former players like Tim Henman defended Norrie's professionalism, while others pointed out Djokovic's history of pushing the boundaries. This wasn't just a match. It was another chapter in the Novak-Djokovic saga, where greatness and controversy often walk hand in hand. At its core, this story isn't about delays or arguments. It's about the toll of chasing history. Djokovic is 38 years old, and every match feels like it could be his last at the top. His body screams while his mind refuses to let go. Cameron Norrie was simply the man across the net, but Novak's true opponent may have been time itself. Novak-Djokovic advances, but questions remain. Was this just another example of Novak's resilience? Or does it expose a vulnerability that could derail his quest for Slam number 25? Cameron Norrie showed class, clarified the misunderstanding, and left New York with respect intact. The line between gamesmanship and survival will always haunt Djokovic. But as long as he keeps winning, history may care less about the delays and more about the trophies. This is Netrush Report, where we cut through the noise and bring you the raw emotion of tennis at its highest stakes. If you felt the tension of this story, hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more deep dives into the matches, rivalries, and drama that define the sport. Because in tennis, it's never just about the scoreline. It's about the story behind it.